I'm Lindsay Dreyer, founder of Happy Agent Co., where we empower women in real estate to build financial independence, lead with authenticity, and create joyful lives and businesses. Each week, I'll bring you bold conversations, actionable strategies, and the inspiration you need to build a business that supports your life, not the other way around. This is the podcast for women like you who want more than success. They want freedom. They want to make an impact. And more importantly, they want to do it all without sacrificing their happiness. Welcome to Happy Agent Co., where success is unapologetically yours. Hello there, and welcome to the Happy Agent Co. podcast. If it is your first time here, I am Lindsay Dreyer, a real estate coach, indie brokerage owner, and I have been selling real estate since 2004. And this podcast is where we talk about building a successful real estate career without losing your sanity or giving up your life, or your keys, as you will soon hear. Today, I have a wild story for you. It is about a broken iMac, a dumpster dive, and how a ridiculous moment became a life lesson about perseverance, determination, and not giving up. And I think that this is such a valuable lesson to real estate, life in general, but particularly when real estate gets tough. If you have ever felt like giving up when things get a little bit messy, and I know I have, everyone does, we're all human, this episode is for you. Let's set the scene. How did we get here? My iMac was pretty old, and it was time for a computer upgrade, so I am maximizing tax deductions at the end of the year. Highly recommend you do this if you are self-employed. If there are any capital or big expenditures you are planning to make in the following year and you need to maximize your deductions, let's spend those coins, honey. So I got my new computer, and I'm giving up the iMac. I will miss it. It served me well, but I needed something a little bit faster. But the iMac was still in really great condition, and I was planning on bringing it home to my kiddos to use for homework and the likes. So I had it sitting in the floor of my office and have like a suite in a big office building. I come into my office after the long Thanksgiving break, and I see my iMac on the floor with a cracked screen. Now, I had set it tucked away, like kind of off to the side, but I think when the cleaning person came through, which no shade to the cleaning person, thank you for cleaning and taking out the garbage, they accidentally stepped on the monitor because it looked like a big footprint cracked the entire screen. So I plugged it in because I'm like, I'm determined always, but I'm like, I'm not going to let this, like, can I still use this? Can I really? Like, does it actually work? It absolutely still started. But the screen was so shattered, it really was not usable anymore. So I really had to come to peace with the fact that we were just going to have to throw away this iMac, which made me very sad inside because I want to repurpose it if we can. I think we have enough waste in this world, to be really honest with you. I already felt just like so guilty about throwing this thing away. I don't know why, I was just having like a really hard time letting this go because it was kind of working, but not ideally. In real estate, I feel like this is like letting go of a client where it's like kind of working. They might eventually buy a home, but you just don't really like working with them, or it's just not jiving, but you really can't like let go. So I finally come to peace with the fact that I'm going to throw this thing away. We're breaking up, just like I'd break up with the client. And I'm walking to the dumpster. I'm like huffing this like 23-inch monitor, which essentially is a full computer, down 3 flights of stairs because the elevator's broken in the building. And I go out to the loading dock, and I'm standing there at the loading dock just before throwing it in. And I'm just like, okay, we're going to do this. I'm throwing this thing in the trash. I'm making it happen. Now, the loading dock is about flush with the dumpster, and this dumpster is like 9 feet tall, maybe 10 feet tall. And I throw the iMac in. I hear it crash down. It makes actually a pretty satisfying crunch, which I really enjoyed that part, actually. And then after it, I heard clink. And I'm like, oh, shit. I check my wrist, and my keys are not there. Now I have a little wristlet that I keep my keys on, and my keys had fallen into this massive dumpster. So, as real estate agents, we juggle multiple things. We're rushing, we're not double checking. I feel like that was my mistake. My brain was somewhere else. I was not being in the moment. I was not being mindful. I was rushing to go upstairs to get on a Zoom call, and I wasn't double checking. And then I paid the price. And I think this is something every real estate agent can relate to, is like when we're in that go, go, go mode, or like checking the boxes one thing to the next, we sometimes can let our keys fall into the dumpster. So I remember just having that initial panic and overwhelm. And I was like, oh, shoot, what am I going to do? I was standing there staring into the dumpster, looking at my keys, sitting at the bottom, thinking, this cannot be happening. I know that we have all been in this situation where we have been like juggling 5 listings. We have 3 showing appointments. We have a client who's not getting back to us about something, and where we're all just standing there being like, oh my gosh, my life feels like a total dumpster fire. So I sat there and collected myself and really thought about what my options were. I could either stand there feeling defeated, or I could roll up my sleeves and do the uncomfortable and messy work. And I think you guys know where this is going, because I am a determined person. I am not giving up, not doing it. I decide I am going to go dumpster diving, which I have not done actually in my life. And I feel like I missed out maybe on a character building activity. So I remember looking in, first thought, okay, is there anything absolutely disgusting in there or anything that's going to hurt me? And I looked in, and luckily it was only like, it had been recently emptied. There were only like a few bags of trash and then some cardboard boxes. So I'm like, all right, I think I'm good. I can jump in. Now the bottom did have that like layer of funk. I will be totally honest. There's like wetness and grossness. And I'm like, all right, I have my snow boots on because it was like 28 degrees. We had just gotten 7 inches of snow. So I luckily had the right footwear for this dumpster dive situation. And I just looked up at the sky and started laughing. I am laughing at the ridiculousness of this all. And I think that we oftentimes do this in real estate, where it is not glamorous. It is not HGTV. Everyone thinks it is. But we deal with tough situations all the time. We deal with managing difficult clients. And it's not glamorous, but it is necessary, just like getting my keys was absolutely necessary. So I am standing down, get off the loading dock, come down to street level with the dumpster, and I'm assessing the access points. There's 2 sides, and it's like those 2 sliding door sides. Now, the hole, as you guys probably are envisioning, it's like 2 feet by 2 feet, and it's about 4 feet off the ground, and I am only a 5'3" human. I am like, all right, I gotta do this. And thank goodness for yoga and going to the gym, because I luckily had the upper body strength and the agility to climb and contort myself into that small square and jump into the dumpster. Now, when you're in there, it is a very interesting situation. So this one, there was like 1 top lid closed, 1 open, so it's kind of like a skylight. Luckily we had a little bit of a skylight situation, so it isn't totally dark, but it is creepy in there. Like, I had a little bit of claustrophobia. I wouldn't say it was my favorite. And I go over, grab my keys with the minimal amount of fingers because it was sitting in disgusting filth. I fling them out the door because I'm like, gross, I don't want to touch these. So they land on the ground in the snow. And then I assess how to get out of this dumpster. So I kind of pop myself back up, and it was a little more awkward on the way out than the way in. There's like no padding, obviously. And so I had to kind of like sit on the little like edge, and that thing was so sharp and pointy. It hurt so bad. And then I jump out and land and take a huge sigh of relief, because mission accomplished. I Tom Cruised that shit and I got those freaking keys. And honestly, this is what we do in real estate. It is not always pretty, but we get it done. And that is what success looks like. Like, we are the Tom Cruises of real estate. We are mission accomplished. I know we have all found ourselves in situations where everything feels like a dumpster fire. I actually don't think there's a career where there is more dumpster fires. Like, it just literally is dumpster fire land. Deals falling apart, clients ghosting you, paperwork you can't track down. There's just like so many things, so many moving parts that of course something's going to go wrong. It's like Murphy's Law. But I really believe that success comes to those who are determined to make it work. You're determined to get clients. You are determined to service those clients the best you can. You are determined to find them a home or sell their home. You are determined to make that closing process as seamless as possible. And we do this throughout the mess. Even when things are messy, we are getting it done and we are determined. And we should be proud of that fact. Like, we need to give ourselves a pat on the back more often, because being a good real estate agent is being an incredibly successful problem solver. Like, you are a ninja. Like, if I was stuck in a jungle, I would want real estate agents with me, because they are going to know how to make a house out of vines. They may not even know how to like gut a fish, but they're going to just figure it out, because that's what real estate agents are about. We just figure it out. We figure it out because we got to make it happen. Like, we got to eat. And I love that scrappiness and that determination in real estate agents. I have 3 things that I learned from my dumpster diving experience, and here are my takeaways for you. Just like I had to shift gears and climb into that dumpster, adaptability is such an important piece of being successful in the real estate business. Knowing when to pivot when things don't go as planned, knowing how to solve the problems on the fly, so important. Being a quick thinker, you need to be able to have things be thrown at you and be able to hit them out of the park, get a home run, and just make it happen. Example of this is, like, I know we've all probably had situations like this, final walkthroughs where the HVAC isn't working, it's not kicking on, and we have to go into hyperdrive. We're calling around to all the HVAC contractors. We're trying to get somebody out there as soon as possible. We're bribing them with our homemade cookies. We're like, look, I promise I will send every client to you from this day forward if you just come out here and please fix this thing. We get it done, and we are adaptable. We are so good at rolling with the punches and making things happen just in any circumstance. The other thing is resilience. Most successful real estate agents do not avoid the challenges, they just face them head on. And not only that, they don't let it disturb their peace. They don't let it derail their day. They are able to stay calm, self-regulate, and not let their nervous system go awry. Like, when a problem arises, they're like, okay, I'm going to calmly deal with this. I'm going to have a peaceful power about me. And that's the thing. No one can make good decisions or deal with a crisis effectively if they're in fight or flight mode. It just does not work. So if you aren't someone who can get the news and then immediately self-regulate, if you get nothing out of this podcast, absolutely take the time and moment to regulate your nervous system before you deal with a problem. Even with this dumpster thing and my dumpster diving experience, I took a beat to take 3 deep breaths, because I wasn't going to be able to attack the dumpster dive situation effectively if I was in fight or flight mode. So if you are able to self-regulate, and the quicker you can get into self-regulation and calm your nervous system, the more resilient you will be and the better you will be at your real estate career. And lastly, just laugh. When it feels like too much, I love to find the humor, and laughing with other people just makes it feel so much better. So I posted this on my Instagram stories, and I just loved having other people think it was ridiculous and funny too. Having that laugh with other people is really therapeutic. I think that if I can laugh about diving into a dumpster now, you can absolutely laugh about the nightmare listing where everything goes wrong. Honestly, there's one from it's probably 10 years ago. I had this listing that literally everything was going wrong. We had a snake infestation. We had a rat infestation. Well, actually, it was the rats first, which caused the snakes. We had a flood. And I am not kidding you. It was like the 10 plagues of Egypt. I was just waiting for lice and what other things were going on. Luckily, they went to closing. Again, resilience and adaptability. We just kept solving those problems. But I do remember having to haul a dead rat out of that basement in a trash bag because it was just, it just had to be done, right? I'm not going to hire somebody to just grab a rat. I got to do it. So those are my takeaways for you. Successful real estate agents have to be adaptable. They have to be resilient. And above all, you have to have a sense of humor. If you can't laugh about it, this job is going to just really suck for you. Being a real estate agent is not going to be very fun. Bonus points if you reflect on these moments and how you overcame them and write them down. I do not, and I wish over my 20 years of being in real estate that I wrote these stories down, because I would have an incredible book. So my advice to you, if you're listening to this right now, start writing these stories down. It could be notes in your phone. It could be a Google Doc, whatever. But I promise you, you will love reading about them. It will make you feel like a total badass. And it will also be so great for the book that you write someday. And I really can't wait to read it. So whether it's retrieving keys or salvaging a deal, what matters most is that you refuse to give up. You are determined to make it happen. And I know real estate is not an easy career to be in. I have been in it for a very long time, but the rewards can be great when you make it work for you. And building a career that you love and that really fits who you are as a person, it's so rewarding. And I want that for every single one of you. So that is it for this episode of Happy Agent Co. I hope to see you next time, and to stay happy. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Happy Agent Co. I hope you're feeling inspired and ready to take action to build a business and a life you absolutely love. If you enjoyed today's episode, it would mean the world to me if you could share it with a fellow agent who might need to hear it. Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and if you are feeling generous, leave a review. Until next time, stay happy.